Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I need to try not to move my head throughout the majority of this video because I need to blur it out because I don't want anyone to see my face. Anyway, basically, today I will be doing a Cephalotus care guide, how to look after your Cephalotus. I should have really had a script or something for this video, but I'm just going off what I know and what works for me. So, I'll put it up on the screen right now so you don't have to keep staring at me. This is my Cephalotus. It is a bit light-starved. But that is okay. Cephalotus can handle with not as much light as other plants, like other carnivorous plants. They can handle it, but they don't like it. I have mine under a fish tank grow light, which we probably need more light than that, but yeah, it's pretty much the best we have because I got some feedback on my Cephalotus. Slowly start introducing it to more and more light. So full sun basically. I want to end up with full sun. This plant does not like overheating, so if you want it in full sun, do not use a black pot. Use a white pot. I haven't seen a white pot I've never seen a white pot. What I do is put white paper in front of the pots so they don't overheat, and so the plants can get lots of sun without being burned. In winter, the growth will stop and the growth will be replaced with little petal leaves, and that is perfectly natural. This plant just does that for some reason, and I don't know why. This plant has no living relatives at all. It's one of a kind, one in its species, one in everything. It's just, there's nothing around that scientists think could have adapted into it, evolved, whatever you believe in from it. It's just there, and we don't know how it got there. It's just there. It's in one little spot in somewhere in Australia. I forgot what it was. It was like far south, maybe. I'm not sure. But the care requirements for this plant, pretty easy. Many people, now this is a common misconception with Cephalotus. Cephalotus like to be swampy, like sundews or nepenthes, some nepenthes. But that's simply not true. These plants like to dry out. That's right, they like to dry out just a little bit. Now, I'm not talking dry out to the point where the soil becomes hydrophobic. I'm talking to the point where there's still moisture in the soil, but it's relatively dry. Like damp, pretty much damp. So, yeah, they like to dry out, but still be damp. And, yeah. When you let this plant dry out, which you should do, the pictures will quite often empty of digestive fluid, so every time I water, I squeeze a little bit of water into the traps. Sometimes I do it too viciously and all the dissolved insects fly out, which is not good. Obviously don't fertilize this plant. They don't like being fed, they will catch on their own, and they don't like catching either. Like if you overfeed them, they will die. But yeah. If you do leave it in a big swamp of water, the plant will start to rot, and the roots will rot, and eventually the corm will rot, and the whole plant will just die. They can tolerate being outside, especially in things like Australia and New Zealand, except if it snows. Obviously, they don't like snow. But someone told me, no, I'm not going to tell you that, that's a load of rubbish. Someone told me they can survive down to -5 degrees Celsius. What? That's not true. There's no way. Anyway, there are lots of different, it has different clones, different types. So types that grow bigger, types that are redder, types that have different shapes, mutations. But it is still just one species, and there's nothing else quite like it. It's very special. It grows by tuber, so they do go dormant, I'm pretty sure. They hate repotting. They really hate being repotted. If you repot them, the lids will quite often wilt, and they will lose leaves, they will lose pictures, but they will recover. I advise keeping these plants in a big pot for their whole lives. Not too big so that they rot, but just big enough that they won't need repotting ever again. So, yeah. The substrate they like to grow in, I have mine in a mix of perlite and small lava rock, small little pieces of lava rock, and pumice and all that. They don't like sphagnum moss. I know some people propagate them in sphagnum moss, but it's not good to have them in sphagnum moss long term because obviously sphagnum moss holds a lot of water and they can die. They can rot and die. Just the main thing that I keep them alive is not to wet them all the time. They hate being wet. Keep them in a tall pot so that if you do accidentally leave them in water, the water doesn't sit at the bottom and rot the plant. And if it's nice and high, if the water collects at the bottom, it won't travel up the pot and rot the plant. So, that should be about everything. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments, I guess. But yeah, this is going to be a roller coaster of editing. Let me just say that. Anything else I want to add? These plants are really slow growers. They are really slow growers. So don't be discouraged if your plant doesn't grow fast or... Yeah. Basically, this was when the plant was young. I'll put an image up on screen. That's when it was young. And this is it now. And that was like... I got it like last year, maybe? No, it wasn't last year. It was beginning of this year, and we're like halfway through the year, so that's a couple months. I've had her for a couple months. She's doing great. Honestly, great. I'm just gonna get those colors back in and just see what happens. You'll see some videos, people have shown them in the wild being completely swamped, and I don't know why they don't die out there, because they're so waterlogged. Like, some grow underwater, but yeah. If you guys want me to do any other care guide videos, tell me in the description. Thank you guys, and goodbye.